Hello there, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey to Chap Nirvana, in which we talk about men's style, self-development and personal grooming. And of course I love to answer your questions as well when you ask for my views or observations. And I've received just a question today from a gentleman called Greg. And Greg's written to me a few times, he sent me an image and he's posed me a question which is very relevant to many of us actually. We often maybe need to ask this question to ourselves. And he says, Ash, may I ask your opinion on jeans worn with a sports coat? I will be turning 60 in February and I wish to dress age appropriate. Is this a younger man's look? And I think Greg has done a fantastic thing there at the get-go. He is keeping himself honest in the way in which he dresses. You know, some people continue to dress like a 25-year-old for the entirety of their lives, whether it is appropriate or not. But Greg has done something which is manifestly important for a gentleman who seeks to be intentionally well dressed, and that is, he's asking the question, is this the right thing for me to wear in this situation, in this phase of my life? And I think that's a really good place for all of us to be at as we take our journey through life's great tapestry of adventures. Now for me the question is not about age appropriateness, because age is merely a number, all right? It's not about that number, because I know many people who are 25 years of age, right? Regardless of what age you are, but at 25 you're in the prime of life. Your body will never probably look better, you know, when it comes to putting clothes on and looking good in them. You've got that fine, fresh skin, which you can only get with youth, because as we get older, more weathered, that tends to change. You've probably got a full head of hair, you know, all of the great attributes that youth brings you. But they dress with no pride. You know, how often do you see young people wearing jogging trousers, looking rather slovenly, not caring about their appearance, and wearing t-shirts with graphic emblems on them, or being totally driven by the way that they dress by branding. You know, making sure you've got the right logo on your clothing is more important than the actual quality or even the fit of that clothing at all. And this is tragic for me personally, as somebody who's interested in men's style, because I often think, you know, people don't get the value of the importance of the impression that they're putting out to the world. People will have an inference, they draw an inference about the sort of person you are by the way that you present yourself to the world. And not only that, but your own self-confidence, your self-esteem is certainly powered by the physical impression that we display to the world. And I think this is lost on many people. So for a start, Greg, I would say kudos to the fact that you're posing the question at all. Now I think this is a really important and healthy way to think about style, because in my lifetime of observation of style and the way that people dress and how it impacts upon them, one of the things I've noticed is that people who take an interest in their appearance, who take a pride in the way that they show themselves to the world, tend to have certain attributes which benefit them longer term. So for a start, you taking a pride in your appearance will make sure that you keep yourself straight when it comes to things like your body. So if you like to wear nice trousers, nice clothing, you know, you will notice when the belt gets a little tighter. And this will be the first suggestion where your body is saying to you, you've gained a bit of weight. Now if you're, I'm not going to say vain, I don't class myself as vain in any way, but I certainly don't want to gain weight or alter the physical way in which I manifest myself to the world. And if my trousers are getting tighter, first of all, it frightens me, because one, it means I might have to buy some more trousers, and they're not a cheap thing these days. And secondly, it means I'm gaining weight. And this is not good from a health standpoint or from a wardrobe standpoint. So I found that people who are interested in their appearance tend to stay healthy for longer, because they monitor their appearance and how their appearance affects their health as well. So it's an important thing. But let's turn our attention to Greg for a moment. And I think you will agree, I don't think Greg's got any problems whatsoever about carrying off the look which he's posing the question about. You know, he's wearing jeans in this image and he is concerned, perhaps unnecessarily, but he's asking the question, an important thing, is this too young a look for me? Now let's take a look at what Greg is wearing. And we'll start from the ground up, as we often do. And Greg is wearing a pair of lovely brown leather Chelsea boots, which are well shined. They've got a bit of burnishing going on, which suggests there's several layers of polish there. They're actually very smart indeed. I really like them. A good classic gentleman's utility boot can be worn in any situation. Now there's the jeans which we're talking about, and they're a dark denim colour. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously quite a well-fitted pair of jeans. You can see the leg shape is defined, a classic good look. Moving up the body, a corduroy sports coat or jacket, patch pockets, notch lapel. Very smart. I like it. Good colour. You can see colour is employed to immaculate effect within this outfit. There are several different items all belonging to the brown family, because if we look at the turtleneck or the row neck sweater which Greg is wearing, you know, we can see that it's also brown, but the colours marry together very well. I think what we're seeing here is an excellent execution of a very nice, smart or casual outfit. Smart casual. You know, this outfit could be worn in any number of situations in daily life, just casually taking life easy. You know, jeans, a turtleneck with a sports jacket. It doesn't get much more casual than that. But then equally, you could employ the same outfit, you know, if you were stepping out into town for the afternoon. Maybe you're going shopping with the wife, maybe you're going to a bar for a drink or to a restaurant to take a meal with a friend, maybe going to the theatre, the cinema. You can see what I mean. This is a good Swiss Army outfit here, good for everything. But the jeans are employed exceptionally well, and for a couple of very good reasons. Firstly, I would suggest that Greg has chosen a colour of jean which is very complementary to the outfit. Now I can't quite see whether it's a dark or navy or indigo blue, or whether it is a black colour. I'd suggest it's probably an indigo colour, but he's chosen a dark colour jean, which is really important when it comes to formality, because a lighter coloured jean, you know, whereas the blue perhaps would be far more obviously blue, it limits the employability of those jeans within one's wardrobe. And I think Greg has really knocked it out of the park here. A lovely dark colour, well fitted to the body as well. You can see that the break of the trouser or the jeans stops perfectly at the instep of the boots, the Chelsea boots which Greg is wearing, and they are fitted. They're not big and baggy and hanging about all over the place. They're a nicely fitted pair of jeans, and this is an important thing which many people neglect. Treat your jeans in the same way as you would treat your trousers. If you buy a lovely pair of flannel slacks, you would probably have them tailored to fit you perfectly at the waist, at the hips, at the length. Do the same for your jeans, and they will look as good as the ones which Greg are wearing here. The complementary effect between the jeans and the jacket and the turtleneck and the boots all weighs up in what is a really fantastic execution of how to wear jeans in a casual, semi-formal situation. This is a really sharp way to dress, I think, for a gentleman who perhaps doesn't want to wear a shirt and tie, but wants to stand out from the crowd. The fact that he's wearing a structured jacket really, you know, adds a silhouette to one's appearance. And, you know, let's be honest, I mean, for a man who's about to turn 60, I think Greg has a great physical advantage here, because clearly, as we talked about earlier, he's kept himself in shape. He's lean. He's got a wiry physique, and, you know, the clothing hangs well upon him. Not just that, he's obviously an athletic sort of guy, and I would suggest that he probably looks 10 years younger than his actual physical age. So a great advantage. But isn't it a great example of how a man cresting upon 60 years of age can actually look so smart with such simple clothing? And, you know, this should be a lesson to all of us in the way that Greg has demonstrated really, you know, simple style, but looking so effective. You know, he's really done a good job of it. So Greg, thank you so much for sending the image in and posing the question. To answer it, if I need to reiterate it, absolutely it isn't too young a man's look for you. You are nailing it. If you continue in the way that you're going, I think you could easily wear this when you're 70, maybe when you're 80. It's not the number of one's age, it's about the way that you wear the clothing, and let's be honest, about the physique that you put the clothing on as well. You know, if you were a much larger man, perhaps we may have a different opinion about the way the clothes sit upon you, and perhaps, you know, it might be different in the way that we would answer your question. But certainly, in what you've shown here, looking super sharp, sir. So thank you so much for your question, and I hope that has added confidence to you to continue to dress in such a sharp and dapper way. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Click the old subscribe button if you'd like to see more like this. If you'd like to practically support the channel, you can easily do that by buying me a coffee, and you'll find a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page in the show notes below. If you want to pose me a question, by all means, send me an email. Drop me a question in the comments, and if I can, I will respond in a manner like this, or maybe I'll just even write back to you. So, thanks for listening today. Take care, stay sharp, and I will see you again very soon.